You've heard me mention probably a gazillion times that my grandfather, my great grandfather were plumbers. And I often mention this when I compare how to run your business as an artist to how people who may not be considered artists, but rather artisans or craftsmen run their business. And one of the aphorisms that my grandfather always said, as most people in the construction business do, was measure twice, cut once. And I want to talk about how artists can do that with their auditions, with their work on set and in studio, and do so in a way that really helps you make sense and builds your rep. And we'll do that in this episode of the VOHeroes podcast. I remember like it was yesterday getting up at 3:30 in the morning to go to the job with my grandfather. Every so often we'd get up at 3:30 in the morning, head out from Lakewood, Ohio, go to the Olympic restaurant for breakfast, and then head to the job site and be ready to go at 5:30 in the morning. And I would spend the whole day cutting copper rings off of pipes and eating lunch and just sort of watching my grandfather put gas tanks into gas stations. That's the kind of plumber that he was most of the time. And I was always interested in why and how the pipes were exactly the right length to get to and from the pumps down to the tank. And how did that happen? And the phrase that he and, carpenters use and tilers use, pick your course of art in the world of construction, was measure twice, cut once. If you're sloppy about your measurement in the beginning or you're not as exact as you need to be, you're going to have to cut it again if it doesn't work right. So measure again just to be sure, and then cut your pipe or cut your line, your electrical wire or your board or whatever. Now, how does that apply to us as voice talent and on-camera actors? Well, if we draw a parallel, our material is a script, a commercial, an audiobook, an on-camera scene, a set of sides. That's our material. How do we measure that? Not just once, but twice. How do we measure that? Both of them are moments of research. Both of them are moments of discovery. You want to see how long it is. You want to see how wide it is. You want to see how deep it goes. And we can do that with our scripts and our sides by, instead of rushing through the process of saying, okay, who am I talking to? What is the problem they're trying to solve? What do they want? Who's trying to stop them? What is the problem that a commercial listener is trying to get taken care of? All the things that we teach in VOHeroes and ACX Masterclass and all the other things that we do, when we're getting set up before we actually hit the record button and execute a take on the work. I submit to you that if you spend just a little bit more time than you may have been spending so far, your execution, your performance is going to be so much better. If you take the time to really dive a little bit deeper into the character, even if the character is a homemaker, a salesperson, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do. How about one more time? Not another take, but another moment of going through the script. Maybe you missed something in the sound effects or in the stage directions or in the setting of the scene. If it's audio only, if you're doing voiceover work, take a moment and give it a measure one more time, just to see if it makes it easier for you to execute the performance. You'll probably end up doing fewer takes, having a clearer idea of how you're going to present the character to the casting entity, how you're going to produce it, how it's going to sound, what your pace is going to be, how you're going to use the language that's done. Even that can be another moment of measuring. Your lines, your language. What is the writer, the copywriter, or the dramatic writer trying to get out of your character, right? So this notion of measure twice, cut once is not just for blue-collar workers who are building houses and putting in gas tanks in gas stations. It's also for us as artists. The more we prepare, to a degree, the more we prepare, the better prepared we'll be. Measure twice, cut once. How does this land for you? Let me know if this is something that maybe, well, I didn't even think about that. Let me know. You can hit the like button. You can hit the subscribe button to the channel. You can hit the notification bell, and we'll tell you when new episodes are out. I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And you want to forward it to another actor or voice talent who might be measuring just once. Go ahead. Just forward the link you see in the address bar. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I will see you in the next episode of the VOHeroes podcast.